Does the idea of looking at your financials make you want to just curl up on the floor into a fetal position? You're not alone. But today, we are going to get radical with your numbers. Stay tuned. Welcome to Get the Balance Right, a podcast for creative rebels, freaks, misfits, and geeks tired of working for the man. If you want to monetize your talents through media creation and production, then this podcast is for you. Whether you're just starting out, have a side hustle, or want to take your business to the next level, this podcast will help you profit from your superpowers. I'm your host, Heather Zeitzwolf, longtime vegan, Gen Xer, cat mom, drag queen enthusiast, and collector of weird dolls and lunchboxes. By using my professional background in business, marketing, design, and finance, I will help you move from passion to profits. If you're ready to crush your fears, take action, and do things scrappy, then together, let's get the balance right. Hey there, this is Heather Zeitzwolf, and you are listening to Get the Balance Right podcast. This is day 3 of our profit series. On yesterday's show, we talked about getting your financials in order, stop having them be such a hot mess, and make sure that you go back and listen to the first one in the series about being authentic. So on yesterday's episode, we got you all organized with your financials, and now it's time to actually dig in and take a look at them. Well, why do we want to do this? Yeah, it might bring on stress for you to look at this stuff, or maybe you're just like, your eyes glaze over and it just seems so boring. Math, numbers, data, blah. Or maybe you're jazzed by that kind of stuff like I am. However you feel, if you're running a business, you need to look at this stuff. You need to pay attention. You just can't shoot from the hip and hope for the best because you don't know what's going on in your business. So your numbers are important. How do you know what your gross margins are? Your pricing? Do you know what your net income or net loss is? So not only am I talking about financial numbers, I'm also talking about other things like how many sales calls you're making. What about is your marketing converting? How many calls do you have for leads? How many discovery calls does it take with a lead to turn into an actual paying customer? Do you know any of these things? These are all things that we have to track. And by tracking these, we can get radical with our numbers. All right, so the first thing you might be thinking is, I don't like looking at this kind of stuff. Okay, you're not alone. You are probably a creative person if you're listening to this podcast. And creatives, some of them like numbers, some don't. Here's what I love to do. If you've got your data, your financials all in order, we've gotten over them being a hot mess, then you can turn that data into beautiful graphics like charts, pie charts, bar graphs, all kinds of things. These will easily demonstrate to you what's going on in your business. Instead of having to dig through lines and lines of data, looking at percentages and trying to figure things out and divide and multiply and all that stuff, you can just look at some really great charts. These charts can just tell you in an instant if your cash is up, if your cash is down, if your income is up, if your income is down, and all kinds of great information. If you're using something like QuickBooks, they have a built-in dashboard, but you can also pay a little extra money and get software that will hook up with your QuickBooks or whatever software that you're using and turn your data into beautiful, beautiful graphics to look at. If your books are up to date, then this stuff will be real-time information. You can look at it and make adjustments and tweaks as you go. I go into this much deeper on episode 94, which is called Stop Winging It with Your Numbers. You Need a Plan. That was part of my From Passion to Profit series. Go back and listen to that one to get more tofu and potatoes on this subject. All right, so now that you've gotten your books in order, here are some key things that I want you to look for. Number 1, what is your net income? Net income is the difference between your revenue, your sales, and all the expenses. You take your income, you minus out the expenses, and that gives you your net income. If it's negative, then you have a net loss. If it's positive, all right, you made some money. If you're a sole proprietor, that net income is your profit. That's what's left over. But don't get too excited because that profit does not include taxes. You still need to pay taxes from that. So this piece of information is so important because you need to know how much money you need to set aside for taxes or send in and with your quarterlies. Another one that you can track is your gross margin. Besides episode 94, go back and also listen to episode 99, Stop Chasing Revenue and Focus on Profit. This will explain more about what a profit and loss statement is, and also for getting radical with your numbers, you'll want to check out episode 78, where I talk about battling tax like a superhero, 3 essential tips solopreneurs need to know. Even though you may have already filed your taxes, this will give you information that you'll need throughout the year for tracking your financials. And if you'd like to make sense of your profit and loss, I have a new workshop that you can sign up for. Just go to my website. It's at getthebalanceright.net/workshops with an S. So it's getthebalanceright.net/workshops. I have all my free workshops posted there, and there's one for how to run, read, and rock your profit and loss. Be sure to sign up for that free workshop, and I will help you get radical with your numbers. All right, tune in tomorrow for the next segment of this Increasing Your Profit series, where we're going to talk about adjusting the profit levers in your business.